We're just going to hand out a piece of paper that we're sending out to, we just sent out at 2:50 this afternoon to all of our supporters. I'm only going to read out of it the last paragraph, which is probably the only thing that matters to most of you that are here today. It says, I've decided to end all the speculation and announce that I have no plans at this time to run for governor. I do not feel that I have yet completed the mission you sent me to Congress to do. There is still much work to be done, whether at the state or the national level. I will always be an advocate for Idaho. Sincerely, Raul Labrador. The reason I called this press conference is because there's been a lot of speculation over the last year about what I'm going to do, and there's been also a lot of wrong assumptions about what's happening. So instead of me having to call 30 different reporters and answer all the same questions 30 different times, I just wanted you to ask any questions that you want. I just want to finish with something before I open it up for questions. You know, I feel like a really blessed man. If you think about it, a young man who was born in Puerto Rico 45 years ago, falls in love with a beautiful woman from Idaho, decides to make Idaho his home, and now a lot of people in Idaho have embraced me and given me the opportunity to serve them in Congress, and many people have asked me to actually run for governor and to consider it. I could not be a more fortunate man. I could not be a luckier man. And I have been very fortunate to have a wonderful wife and 5 beautiful children. In fact, this week there's something even more monumental than this announcement. My son's actually coming home from his mission. I haven't seen him in 2 years, and I'm so excited about that. So I have been blessed. I have a blessed life, and I want to continue to serve the people of Idaho in Congress. And with that, I will open it up for any questions that you may have.
Why did you forego running for governor?
You know, I never really thought about it seriously. I had a lot of people. It was at first it was kind of funny when people would ask me if I had only been in Congress for less than 1 term, and people started asking me if I would consider running for governor, and then it just became almost on a daily basis where people would start asking me if I would consider it. So at one point I decided I should consider it, see if it was the right time. And I just never felt that this was the right time. I actually had made a decision about 2 or 3 months ago that I wasn't going to run, and when I started calling my supporters, they started getting mad at me and saying, "Can you please reconsider?" And that's when I decided to reconsider it. But I pretty much decided a long time ago that I wasn't going to do it.
Congressman, what do you hope to accomplish in another term in Congress?
You know, we have a lot of things to do. We still have to do immigration reform. I think we can do it this year, but I don't, the chances are at best 50-50 right now to do immigration reform. I still worry about the economy. I worry about the debt. I think we have made a tremendous impact in Washington, D.C., making sure that if you look at the deficit right now, the deficit has been cut in half in the 3 years that I have been in Washington, 2.5 years that I've been in Washington, D.C., and I think there's a lot more things that we can do there. And the people of Idaho sent me there to do a job, and I don't think the job is complete.
How do you feel about the CR resolution? And do you think you'll get enough support from the rest of the Congress to actually slow Obamacare down?
I hope we do. I think that's one of the things that we're trying to do is to slow down the funding of Obamacare. I think it's extremely important that you look at what Obamacare is doing to the economy, it's doing to the nation. It's absolutely imperative that we do something about it. So I hope that after we have more town hall meetings like I'm going to have tonight, as other members of Congress have those town hall meetings, I think it's important that we do something about it. Yes.
Is a run for governor still something that's a possibility sometime in your future?
I'm going to have to think about that in the future. You can't ever say never to anything, and it's something that at some point I may actually consider, but at this time I don't think it's in the cards.
Can you see yourself as a governor?
Oh, absolutely. I think I've done a good job in the legislature. I've done a good job in Congress, and I think I would do a very good job as governor. But I think I'm doing a pretty good job in Washington, D.C., and I'm doing what I was sent out there to do. In 2.5 years, I've been able to have the opportunity to have influence over most of the important issues of the day. And a lot of my supporters actually who were asking me to run said, you know, we would love for you to run for this, but we would hate to lose you in Washington because of the things you're doing back there. So I think I could do a good job, but I think I'm doing a good job of what I'm currently doing.
Do you think that things that you can accomplish in Washington are more important right now?
You know, it's not that they're more important, it's just that that's where I'm actually having the influence that I need to be having right now. I think I'm doing a good job. That was actually one of the toughest decisions for me to make. Where could I have a bigger impact? And as I went back and forth, I think it's very hard for somebody with, you know, just a few years in Congress to have the kind of impact that I'm having back there, and that's kind of hard to give up at this time. Yes.
Congressman, you've been quoted as saying you hate living in Washington, you hate being away from your family. It's a pretty
Yes.
strong word. Are you okay then to spend another 2 years in Washington away from your
You know,
family?
I hate being away from my family, and actually that was one of the things that went into the consideration. As I thought about what it would take to run for governor, I don't think I would see my family for 2 years, because I would be full-time working as a congressman, and then all the time that I spent in Idaho, it would be actually away from my family running for governor. So that was actually one of the biggest considerations, is with the impact that it would have on my family.
Have you done any polling?
None.
Have you done any polling
No.
at all?
No. I don't do a lot of polling anyway in general, and I don't make decisions like this based on polling.
Do you think Butch Otter's doing a good job then?
You know, Butch Otter could do a better job, and I think I don't think I've been shy about what I think, but I think hopefully with the help of the leadership in the leadership of the legislature, they can do a better job. And I hope that now that that all this speculation comes to an end, I hope that he will take the time to actually come to me and talk to me so we can actually work together on the issues that are important to Idaho.
What would you
Now
tell
that
him?
he doesn't see me as a competitor.
What would you say to him?
You know, there's a lot of things that I would say to him, but I will keep that to our private conversations.
Has he refused to talk to you?
No. I'm just saying that now that he doesn't see me as a competitor, that he can see me as a partner, as somebody who can actually help him with the issues that are facing Idaho.
After your trip down on the border, do you feel you'll be able to get enough support from the members in Congress to secure the borders before they go for a comprehensive reform bill?
The House of Representatives has made it clear that we will not pass any immigration legislation that does not have a strong border security component. The Senate, their bill, what they did is legalization first and border security second. We will not accept that in the House of Representatives. So whatever comes out of the House will be border security first, internal security first, and then we can talk about legalization of the people that are here. Yes, sir.
Would you explain your level of enthusiasm for the DREAM Act?
It's, you know, I don't have a level of enthusiasm for the DREAM Act. I have a level of enthusiasm for fixing the immigration system. We have a broken immigration system. I worked as an immigration lawyer for 15 years, and I saw how it was dividing families, how it wasn't making any sense, how we had a guest worker program that was not allowing people to come here legally. So my enthusiasm is actually for fixing the broken immigration system.
If Governor Otter wasn't running again, do you think that would change your decision not to run?
You know, I don't know. I don't know that it has anything to do with Governor Otter. I do think, you know, I'll be honest, I'm always honest about everything. Running against Governor Otter would have been a tough race. But I don't know that it would make any difference, because I think I'm doing the things that are necessary in Washington.
What kind of things would you like to talk to the governor about in terms of running Idaho?
That's something that I'd like to talk to him about. So, all I'm saying is that I hope that now that we're not seen as competitors, that hopefully we can work as partners too for the future of Idaho.
Can you give a rough outline of some areas that you think the state might benefit?
I'll give you one really poignant idea. I think Idaho is suffering because our tax rates are too high. If you look at all of our neighbors, the tax rates in Idaho are the highest of any of our neighbors. And when people are looking at Idaho as a place to actually relocate to do business, the people are actually choosing Utah. They're choosing Washington and Oregon over Idaho when you have all these companies leaving California, that would be one of the first things that I would do as governor of the state, is make sure that we reduce the tax rates. I talked to a congressman in Washington, D.C., who has a bunch of friends in California looking to relocate right now. And they say, hey, everybody's overlooking Idaho because of your tax rates. So that would be one of the things that I would, and I have said that publicly before, so. Any other questions?
Will you run for re-election?
Yes. Yes, my plan at this time is to run for re-election. I will have a more formal announcement about my re-election plans probably at the time that, so I can invite my supporters. I just wanted today to end the speculation on what I was doing.
So this is not your formal announcement of running?
This
for
is
re-election?
my formal announcement will be, I'm planning to run for Congress, but my formal announcement will come at a later time. If you read this statement, there's nothing about that.
Congressman, you mentioned the speculation, and there has been a ton of it in
Yes.
Washington, D.C. We've been reading that people back there think that maybe you're gonna run for president, maybe you're gonna be Speaker of the House, maybe you're gonna run for governor of Idaho. Where is that all coming from? What do you make of that?
I don't know. I'm flattered. It's amazing that in 2.5 years, so that kind of speculation. In fact, I was going to start, my wife wouldn't let me do this, but I was going to start by announcing that I was running for president of the United States. But I don't know where it's coming from. I think it shows the effectiveness that our office has in Washington, the fact that people in Washington see me as a player, as somebody who's actually making a difference on the issues of the day. But I don't know where that's coming from. It's surprising and laughable sometimes. And then I see the speculation here in the state, where it just got to such a level that it just needed to stop.
Yes, talking about the president, in private conversations, do you hear much talk about impeachment of the president?
No, there's not a lot of talk about impeaching the president. I think our job is to make sure that we show the American people that he's not doing a good job and that our ideas are better. I don't think impeaching the president is appropriate right now. Anyway, any other questions?
Great.
Great.
Thanks everyone for coming out.
Thank you very much.